Welcome to the Bob and Tam shop today.
Yeah.
Here we go. We got some more projects to do before we head off to Arizona here in about a week and a half. So we're working on Tam's bike today. What the heck are we going to do today?
I'm going to put on some new handlebars, and since he's going to be riding my bike, he's going to put on my phone charger.
Because I need one.
Yeah.
Then move her cup holder over. So these are actually the same bars that we put on the 2007 yellow Sportster. And, trying to change it at the dealership would have been a real pain in the butt. So we went ahead down at JP Cycles and we picked up another one, and they just shipped it out on Monday. And we actually got it yesterday, which is, what's today? Wednesday. So it came on Tuesday. So we're going to go ahead and slap that on here today. It's not going to be an instructional video. I'm just going to show you a few things I'll be taking off, just clips of different ones as I'm moving along here. It's not a real big deal. I'm going to take the cup holder off first. We're going to take the grips off, pull all that off. If I end up having to do, maybe I won't have to do, they had to move the brake line around last time. We'll have to see if that's going to end up being a problem or not, if I'm going to have to do that or not. There's a clip down here that holds it. We may have to take it out of that clip. I see on JP Cycles and some of the other aftermarket companies, they do make longer brake cables for brake fluid to run through. A brake line is what it is, not a cable. And so we may end up having to change that, but we'll see that after we get it all put together. Why are we doing all this? Because my bike is still down in Florida. It's waiting for the Leesburg Bike Fest. So instead of having it shipped back and then ship it back there, we're going to take this and we're taking the ORV up to Arizona Bike Week, and we're going to be up there for about 5 or 6 days. I think we get up there on Tuesday and leave maybe on Monday or something and come back. And we'll see how that all works out. So let me show you a little bit of me working on Tam's bike.
Here we go.
Okay, so we ran into some issues that I had to do some modifications. These are really a pain in the butt to get in there, the throttle cables, and you have to loosen them up down here to get them in there, and they don't fit the greatest. They really, you have to fight with them. I did have to reroute cables, get them on the inside here instead of out here on the outside where they were running around the side. So we'll get them all up in there and see if everything fits and able to turn, and we'll go from there. So another project that I've been working on, and I thought I had the right part, ordered from D&K, and it did not work. What we're trying to do is, I'll show you in a minute, trying to move the brake pedal up for the rear brakes because it's flat and it's harder than heck to try to stop. So what I basically ended up doing, which kind of threw me here because I thought most of the parts on Harley-Davidson, especially the older ones, were all American. Ended up, the threads were metric. It was 8 by 1 1/4. So what I ended up doing was taking it apart, and it ended up being short. And I thought, you know, I ought to be able to see if I could find parts. So I got a coupler. I was able to find a metric coupler at the Ace Hardware down here. I got a threaded rod, which was longer, and I cut it down to this point. And let me show you what we're doing down here. So here's the rod. Here's the part that goes on. But to get the pedal, see, right now the pedal sits like this. And it's just like, it's too hard to use. So I want to get the pedal up. So what I'm going to end up doing is putting a little piece in here, that piece I just showed you, to get that pedal to be up. So that's the next fun project. See if I get all that hooked up. It's pretty close. Could go back just a little bit more, but I mean, it's not bad. If you're on the highway pegs, you can rest your foot. It could be just a little bit more back, but I would end up having to pull it out again. Could probably cut a little more off. And that would get it pretty close. So it's day 2. It's actually not day 2. It's actually Tuesday. We started this project, I don't even know when, last week. And when we started the video, changed clothes, got shorts on now. Today we could see 100 degrees. It's in the 60s this morning. It's around 8:30 a.m. in the morning. So we're getting ready to put the new brake line on. That's what I've been waiting all this time for. Through the video, I told you what the story was there. I'm not going to show you every single step because I want to turn the radio on, so I got some music playing and can't have that going during the video. So I'll show you a couple little clips as I'm working, and we'll go from there. We got everything hooked up. I still got to bleed the brakes. You know, I only had 2 choices to put this brake line on. Either ran it down like this, or I could have ran it up. Wasn't going to run it up because it would have been way up in the air. It's probably a little longer than I needed. I got 10 inches longer. I was kind of thinking 8, and I figured, hey, what's an extra 2 inches? So I've got a little extra play down there, but hey, better to have an extra or not enough where it binds all up. So I got the throttle pretty well adjusted. Seemed to be snapping back pretty good. That was my only trouble that I really had, was just kind of adjusting it up. Never adjusted a throttle before. Probably should have marked it. Didn't do that either. So we're going to bleed the brakes, and what I'm going to do is gravity bleed the first, because I don't like to pump a cylinder that's completely dry. If you ever have a car, you could end up flipping the cups inside, and then you end up having to replace the master cylinder, rebuild it. In this case here, you have to replace it because I don't think you can rebuild these. So we're going to go ahead and get the brakes all bled. I got to do the cup holder, put that back on. The phone charger, I'm going to have to pull the gas tank so I can run the wires down the center of the console. So that way they're not on top of the engine and all that kind of stuff. So let's get to all that. I got tired of trying to gravity bleed it. So what I did is I got out the old Mighty Vac pump, and I got some brake fluid pumping in it. And so what I mean when I talk about gravity bleeding is all you have to do now is, I'm gonna get my wrench. Camera's not on a tripod here. Just loosen it again. See how that's a nice steady flow of brake? See that there's a nice steady flow of brake fluid coming out. So with that, we tighten it back down. And so a couple things I'm going to end up doing, besides cleaning all the brake fluid off, is I'll go up top and pull the brake lever about 1 or 2 times. I'll come back down here, crack it again to see if there's any more air in it. Maybe a bubble or 2 might come out. If it does, I do that again and then until it happens. Usually it only takes once or twice to get that done. That way you didn't work the cylinder back and forth so much. And there you go. So we're almost done here. We almost got this all back together. As you can see, I've got the gas tank off. One key if you're going to be taking your gas tank off is make sure it's closer to empty. It's a little heavy. I just set it back here right now. There's one more wire under there for the sending unit I didn't get off. Just had the quick disconnect. You just push that up, pull your gas line off. Had a vent on it. I didn't see the other wire, but I mean, it's sitting back here on the back. No problem. And you can see the Ciro. Once again, we're going to tell you that if you're using Ciro products, lighting, anything, this is probably for anybody out there. You don't want to cut any of the wires that they have. Well, this end you're not going to cut because it goes inside. But if it's short, it's too long, just roll it up, put a zip tie on it, and leave it there. But they give you everything you need, bolts, nuts. When you look at this, you want to look at the inside because they actually have 2 different sets of nuts in here, and bolts. Actually, the bolts, there's no nuts. Spacers. One is metric for the metric bikes, and one is standard for like the Harleys and such. So we'll have all those parts. Remember, that's the nice thing about Cero products. They do have a lifetime warranty on them. That's why I'm reminding you, do not cut the wires. So we're going to mount that all on here. We're going to mount it on here on this side. We'll run the wire down, and we'll run right along here. We'll put it inside the harness here. Probably going to have to cut some zip ties off, put some new ones in, and I'll show you all that when I get it done. I was up too high when I was standing up, so I had to sit down. So I really didn't have to take all the zip ties off of here, which would have been really hard to do because they were from the inside. There's a little clip that was here on the back, which I haven't put that back on yet. Snap that back on there. And I was able to pry it up with a screwdriver and get it down below this bolt hole. There's a bolt hole here. I want to get below that. I zip tied everything up. Tam wants some chrome zip ties, and I ordered some, but they ended up being metal ones, and I didn't know if they say stainless steel, but you know, sometimes that crap leaks rust anyway. So I'll probably order some because I ended up only needing 3. So not too bad, but I mean, most of the ones I was looking at Amazon for chrome ones were about, I don't know, $9 or $12 for like 6 of them or something. So wanted to make sure I knew what I needed before I did it all. So we've got the wire all ran now. I need to move the camera down a little bit. So we've got the wire all ran, and what you wanted to do before you connect it to the battery and before you put the gas tank back on, the seat, and all that kind of crazy stuff, you want to make sure you don't have to adjust this, because that's what I ended up having to do. I had it all bolted together, had this little tang back on there, and when I got ready to pull the wire up, it was too tight. So pull the wire through, get it all tight, then I'll snug it back through here, and then this is still what I've got left to get to the battery, which is right here. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Gas tank's in the way anyway, so you probably wouldn't see it. So I'll just pull a little bit of that up. There is a fuse built into it, so you want to have that somewhere where you can get to it when you open up your seat or your side compartment, depending on where your battery is at. But I mean, I love these chargers. It's the same one that I have on my bike. I've had it on there probably, I don't know, 3-4 years. We did get them from Rick Rack. Even though they're Cero products, I just deal with Rick Rack all the time because I don't have any issues to where if I have a warranty problem, they're always at almost all the rallies I can stop in. On mine, they replaced the nut on it because it kept getting loose. And what I figured out with most of these, if you're not, as long as you don't keep taking your handlebars off or something like that, get these, put a pair of pliers on them. Give them a good snug. You know, you don't want to give it the mighty grip. It is plastic. You don't want to break it. So get it good and tight to where it's not going to move. And since I've done that, I don't have the problem that I had before where I was constantly tightening it up with my hand. The phone charger is not so bad. The wire that you put in the bottom here for the charger, you might look at it and go, how the heck am I going to get that on there with that foot on there? Well, the wire actually goes through the back. So there's a slit here in the back. You slide it in, put it in. There you go. So pretty cool. I love this phone charger. I don't have any trouble with mine. I love mine. And so Tam's going to have one on her bike, and we'll be checking it all out when we get to Arizona Bike Week and see how she likes it. So let me get going to get it back. Let me hook the battery back, hook up the battery for the charger, and I'll check it with my phone. What's nice about this too is when you're wiring directly to the battery, if you're just sitting in a parking lot or you're sitting someplace and your battery's running dead, you can throw your phone in here and it's a fast charge. I don't have my phone because it's over here for the radio, but I mean, it's got the outer box on the back and it will charge through the outer box. That's where a lot of the other chargers that you see, they want you to mount something to your phone. I don't want that. I put it in my pocket and stuff like that. I don't want something that mounts to my phone. I like it to where I can just put it in something that holds it in. They had the, I can't think of that other one that has a rubber band that goes around it. I've had no trouble ever. I've gone down bumpy roads. You guys seen this on the 385 last year in Sturgis. My phone has never, ever, ever came out of this, never even came loose. I've even a few times where I had it loose, I forgot to lock it down, and I'm like, oh crap, I need to lock that down so my phone don't fall, and it never did. So pretty cool. I love this charger. We'll show you when I get it all going. I'll put my phone in there and show you how quick it charges it up. And so let me go put this back together, and you can see it all after I get the gas tank back on. And Got the handlebars on. I need to tighten them up a little bit yet. I haven't tightened up these screws here because I wanted to get everything on and just kind of get it in place. You might think, man, there's a lot of stuff here. Got to have a place to put your drink. Got to have your phone. Tam hates it when her phone, when she rides on the back of my bike, she wants me to put a charger on the back for her because she's always like, my phone's dead. Your phone's always charged up. And so there you go. Now when she's got her own bike, she'll be able to charge it up and keep it up. There you go. All right, so what do you think?
Feels better.
We'll be able to work with all that stuff on the dash now?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff going on there.
You're being recorded. Both places.
Hello. Hello. Oil on here too.
Probably didn't wipe it down yet.
After you cleaned it all up, huh?
Yep. So we got this all done, all finished. I got one more last thing I want to show you before we end this video. You can go ahead and do your part.
Thanks for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to support our sponsors. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you on the next one. Don't forget to subscribe, give us a thumbs up, and ring the bell for notifications.
And what's all this for? Why'd we get it all done today?
We're on our way to Arizona Bike Week.
There you go. So hey, we got our passes, so we'll be able to get down there to show all the vendors and stuff. So we'll be putting that video out probably, hopefully maybe Wednesday night. I'll get that done. We'll get over there Wednesday morning, kind of film everything, and maybe we'll get it out still on Wednesday. So if you're going, we'll try to have that information out for you guys to kind of show you where that's at. We got a bunch of riding we're going to do. We're going to be out in Cave Creek for a whole bunch of partying out there in the evening. So
I've been sitting on the computer writing down all the stuff that's going on. A lot of stunt shows going on.
Hey, that sounds pretty exciting.
Yeah.
A lot of dealerships. We're going to go to that big one over there in Scottsdale. They don't have a whole lot going on. I think mainly only Friday. It looks like they got only some stuff going on there.
There's a ride you can do on that first day, the second, on Wednesday the 22nd. And I think it costs $29 for a single rider, $58 for 2 up, and that includes your pass to get in for the day and to go see Jackal that night. So there you go.
Look.
Yeah, it works. How about that? Hot dogs. I got a phone charger. Oh, you won't have one. Now my phone will always be charged up.
I won't be going very far we haven't told them that yet.
Oh. Surprise.
And you can see we've got the temporary plate on here. If they've got a wheeled shock out there at Harbor Freight, if we got one of those, we'll be taking the bike. I got to call today, get some insurance put on it. And we'll have that over there at Arizona Bike Week. So if anybody's there, if you're a veteran, you want to check it out, there you go.